So, it was announced a few months back that Best Buy would be ending their sales of DVDs and physical discs by the end of Q1 in 2024. Now that the new year has arrived and it's actually happening, we've got to ask ourselves, how did we get here? Well, it's no surprise that when I heard the news, I was rightfully pissed off, and so were a lot of people on the internet.
Best Buy will be leaving Earth in the next 5 years.
I have no reason to shop at Best Buy anymore.
The end of physical media is starting
Sears
now.
2024.
We all know what happened to Sears.
Somewhere, Christopher Nolan is shedding a tear.
Over the past 4 to 5 years, I've been slowly building up my collection of Blu-rays and DVDs, and in many instances took trips to Best Buy just to see what, their selection was. And almost every time I went, the DVD section got smaller and smaller. But who's to blame for the shrinkage of a once beloved and thriving section at Best Buy? Should we look at Netflix and the rise of streaming since the pandemic? Well, yes, but that's not all. According to the Daily Mail, revenue from physical media in the US experienced a 28% decline, totaling $745 million in the first half of 2023. So basically, we have to point the finger at the consumer, or to ourselves. I don't know about you guys, but I love me some physical media. But the way we consume media today and how almost any movie is at our fingertips or can easily be pirated, it basically came to the point where the consumer says, why would I spend another $30 on this DVD when I can just wait for it to be on Netflix and watch it for no extra price? So I decided to take a trip to my local Best Buy to see what was really going to happen with the DVDs. What will they do with their stock? Will they throw them away? Will they have a big sale? And well, when I arrived, I immediately saw the new releases kiosk in the front of the store, and I was extremely disappointed. I mean, what is this? There's a max of like 10 titles here. Is this really all they have? Looking at the presentation and the titles on the shelf, I'm starting to see why nobody bothers to buy any of this. Is anyone really buying The Exorcist Believer for $30? I'm pretty sure it's on HBO Max right now. Or what about WandaVision, a streaming TV show for $50? I mean, that's a pretty hefty price to pay for a third-tier MCU product. If this is how they're marketing new releases, it's no wonder why nobody wants to buy any of it. But when I explored further into the store, I was relieved to see the rest of their selections of DVDs. Yes, it's still pretty empty, but at least they still have some options. After looking around, I asked an employee if they knew anything about the situation, and this is what they said.
What they're probably going to do with it is probably put them away, because a lot of people are still buying them online. Like, we're not getting rid of them.
Mm-hmm. Just not carrying them in the store.
Exactly.
I get you.
So they're still going to be able to buy them online.
So it turns out it's not the complete end to physical media, just a change in the market. Here's a statement from Best Buy, just hear what they have to say.
The consumer electronics retailer saying in a statement, to state the obvious, the way we watch movies and TV shows is much different today than it was decades ago. But some say they need physical copies.
But I find it kind of ironic that they'll be selling physical discs online, because I think the whole appeal of buying a DVD in person is to be able to hold it, look at it, take it home and pop it into your DVD player right away. And for someone to buy it online, it just gives them all the more reason to just go to a different tab, type in the movie on Soap Today, and watch it immediately, instead of waiting 2 to 3 business days for it to get shipped out to them. I don't know. I just think it's a dumb move on Best Buy's part, and is essentially a way for them to slowly phase out the reason to buy a physical disc in the first place. Now, I may be an outlier in this case because, well, I'm cinema. But let me tell you why physical media matters to me. To start, I think it's important that everyone should at least own their favorite movies in a physical form. I think there's this lost culture of having your favorites on DVD and being able to watch them at any time. I'd bet if you thought about it, as a kid, you probably had a favorite DVD. For me, they were Madagascar and Shrek 2. To this day, I can clearly remember the DVD screen for Shrek 2 and everyone getting annoyed at Donkey, and I was just so excited to watch this movie I've already seen 100 times. Now, yes, while you can just pirate a movie online easily, that experience of putting in the disc, looking at the case, and seeing all the cool graphics on the menu screen is lost. While yes, most people probably don't care about that, I think experiencing a film should be more than just endless scrolling and settling on something you don't really care about just to end up on your phone by the middle of whatever you chose. If you're gonna watch a movie, at least put something on that you know you like. I think it's important for us to care about what we watch and not become victims of overconsumption. Since there's so many options and so many new things coming out every month on every different platform, it becomes an overwhelming experience for people to even consider watching something new. I might be speaking for myself, but the simplicity investing in DVDs is that you'll eventually end up with a collection of all your favorites, and once you have that, you know, it kind of helps you seek out movies you're more unfamiliar with. When I started collecting, I think what sold me was, one, being able to have all my favorites to watch at any time, and two, to be able to see the special features. I don't think any streaming service has ever put special features in with the movies that go on their platform, and that's a saving grace for DVDs. Basically, one of the only ways you can access these features is if you buy the physical copy. But what are special features? Well, they can range from a lot of things. They can be behind-the-scenes footage from the most iconic scenes and sets from the movie. It can be a director's commentary or a cast and crew commentary where they break down what was going on in their heads during filming. And there's also deleted scenes and even interviews with the cast and crew. These might not be appealing to most people, but I think if you could at least watch one special feature from a movie that you really love, it'll give you a greater appreciation to the amount of work and effort filmmakers put into the projects. And I think that's what really gives purpose to owning these DVDs and physical media. I'm gonna give you guys some examples of some of my favorite DVDs in my collection and the special features that make them stand out. And where else to start but with the Criterion Collection. For those of you that don't know, basically Criterion DVDs are the cream of the crop. They specialize in remastering and reflecting on what they consider some of the most influential and important films in history. As our first example, we're going to be using Uncut Gems, the Safdie Brothers movie starring Adam Sandler. This is one of the more recent movies added to the Criterion Collection, and I think they put so much thought and care into creating this. The cover is glossed over with that iridescent pattern that mirrors the gem in the movie. I think that's a really cool detail, and as you start opening up the DVD case, there's a ton of details, just like this Furby chain as the back of the inside cover, and within that, you can see the inside of the case, which is the gem itself, and all the Criterion DVDs come with these little booklets that have essays about the films and a little more background to the movies and how they're created. This one in particular doubles both as a booklet and also an advertisement for Howie's jewelry store. I love all the little details they added into this, some background, some real jewelry, an order form, photos of Howie with various celebrities that may or may not be photoshopped, and I just love that they added these little details that weren't necessary, but I just think that the Safdies and the Criterion Collection, they understand that even adding these little tidbits is a part of an experience as a whole of enjoying the movie, and it just adds so much more depth into the world of Uncut Gems. I alluded to this earlier, and I wasn't initially going to add this DVD because the copy I have is back at my parents' house. But I went to Goodwill the other day and I found a copy, and I just have to add it now. And that movie is, of course, Shrek 2. As soon as I looked at the case, it just unlocked so many memories of road trips with my family and watching this in the back seat, just pure enjoyment of this cinematic masterpiece. This also has a special feature that has never been topped, which is Far, Far Away Idol. Basically, you get to hear everyone from the movie sing some pop song, and Shrek, Fiona, and Simon Cowell all judge it.
Come on, get real, Pinocchio.
I find his performance quite wooden, actually.
Kinda crazy. After you hear everyone sing, you get to choose who wins, and if you don't choose one of the main characters, you get to hear Simon Cowell sing My Way, which is something deeply ingrained into my core memories.
For what is a man? What has he got, if not himself?
So this last section isn't about any DVD in particular, but what comes with almost every movie as a special feature, and that's director's commentaries. In these, you watch the movie being narrated by the director, and sometimes they're even joined by the actors and other members of the crew. It's cool to see actors and directors be so candid when we're used to usually seeing them very reserved. And even when they go into detail about shooting a scene, to get really insightful tips from the creators themselves is both entertaining and educational. Here's a few of the most interesting clips that I could find, just so you guys can get an idea of what I'm talking about.
It was a great scene because she's trying so hard for me not to see the news. You can see here with the eye, you know, no matter what I do, the kissing, the hugging with her, I'm more interested in what's going on Mars. Here, this is my job. I'm a construction worker.
What were you thinking right now with this coming in at you?
Well, it was very hot.
Yeah. Was that a real baby you playing with?
That was actually a real baby.
Man.
The baby was very calm.
Did the baby get hurt?
No, the baby was totally... No babies were harmed during the shooting.
Cool. Man, look at your hair. Fuck you, beautiful.
That seems to kind of be the pattern that I've seen, and but most of the people stay in the industry. And I don't know, like that. You know what? I gotta take a fucking piss so bad that I can't even think.
Now, did somebody have to volunteer for that shot?
Our camera operator, Ray Stella. He said, I can do this all day. Again, in goes the needle.
Is that Ray?
That's Ray again, yeah. He wanted to do every one of them.
Ray's in rehab now, isn't he?
Yeah. All right, now the stunt guy here.
Yeah, I've
no
never
pads
been
on the legs.
I've never been more scared than watching that guy.
Those stairs are hard. Everyone's clapping, and then we just hear it once again.
And he did it.
This one we were aware
8
of.
times.
No, he's really, 12. Truly
12?
aware.
No.
12 sadism. And what take did you use?
I used take number 1.
No.
Although there's a lot of shifts in the industry, I'm optimistic that there's still a big demand for physical media. Take vinyls and CDs, for example. There's just something cool about having this big piece of art that, yes, is obsolete compared to streaming, but carries a lot of significance in culture and is a representation of your tastes. So why not do that with movies too? I encourage everyone to seek out their favorite movies, whether that be at Best Buy or anywhere that still sells DVDs like Barnes & Noble or even thrift shops. Bring it home and put on the special features. I think by watching your favorite movies, it'll help you gain a new appreciation for physical media and movies as a whole. And if you guys stayed this long to hear me rant, thank you. So now I ask you guys this. What DVDs were your guys' favorites growing up and why? I'd love to hear from you guys and appreciate all your guys' support. Thanks for watching, and you guys take care. Peace.
I think the home video versions of my films, the definitive versions, are the Blu-ray and the 4K versions, because there's much less compression. There's very specific authoring. We control the color of the picture, the brightness, you know, all these things. When you stream a film, it's like broadcasting a film. We don't have much control over how it goes out. And also, you know, being able to hold it in your hand and see the artwork and the posters and have the names, it's, you know, it's a real thing.